and welcome. I'm Madhuri, and every Sunday I publish helpful videos about academics, career, and self development. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do that now. In today's Careers 101 video, we're going to talk about general management. Now, even though I have a background in general management and I still pursue that full time, to make this an enriching source of knowledge for you guys, I have invited a guest with whom I'm going to discuss about the different aspects of general management. He is an ex-Mercer employee who also worked as a chief of staff for UBS and set up their shared services center in Pune, managing a budget of over $100 million and also leading the MD's office. Recently, he also co-founded Strategy for GMAT, a B School admission consulting and GMAT strategy venture. He is also a fellow ISB alumnus. Let's welcome Manan Puri. Hi Manan, thank you so much for being with us here today. I'm really excited for our conversation.
Hi Madhuri, thank you for having me here.
This video specifically, I have already also mentioned in your introduction that you have worked in general management roles for quite some time and have a lot of industry experience. So whatever you're going to share is mostly coming from practical experience and a little bit of expertise in these areas.
Yeah.
So let me begin by sharing my view of what I think general management is. I think it's a very broad term, and most people use it in a vague manner. So to set the tone of the video right, let's start by defining what general management is. So from your perspective, do you want to share what general management comprises of?
See, as you said, it's overused, misused, misunderstood term. It's more like analytics or these days where everybody has an opinion on it. Broadly, to my mind, general management roles are anything which is not restricted to a particular function. They are cross-functional. They require, dealing with a lot of people across various departments, connecting the dots, etc. And effectively, you don't have an own portfolio of sorts wherein you either a sales or a marketing person, but in general, you have, businesses cutting across departments. The three broad type of roles that sort of are comprised in this bucket. The first one is a chief of staff kind of a role, which is sometimes called DA to MD or CEO, sometimes called business manager. The second type of role is what we have called as an internal strategy team. Now, it's not just restricted to strategy, but strategy and execution. Again, these are part of the head office or CEO's office in general. Third are the program management teams or PMOs, etc. Across all these three buckets, the experience range starts from anywhere between 1 to 2 years to goes up to 20 years. It is all about the impact that you have, what seniority you have in the organization, as well as the kind of projects that you're doing.
That was pretty crisp, and I think it gives a very good overview of everything that comprises general management basically. You and I both have an MBA, and that gave us a segue into these kind of roles. But for someone who doesn't come with an MBA background, are there any courses or certifications that they can pursue to venture into general management and get one of these roles?
For somebody who does not have one, it's not impossible to make it. The learning curve is slightly higher. What you should focus on is no courses as such, to be honest. Yes, there is a LinkedIn course in terms of Chief of Staff 101, but the focus should be more on the practical experience around this. How much more you go beyond your basic call of duty. So if you are into a core technology development role, how important is it for you to understand the various drivers behind the code that you're trying to do or the app that you're trying to create would determine your growth trajectory as a role within the general management sphere. So it's more about getting that practical hands-on experience across the board in the organization, which will lead you towards that. And obviously trying to lead cross-functional initiatives, trying to connect with a lot of people, which is a hallmark of these kind of roles. It is some people's person, as they say. These are the set of people who are earmarked or apt for these kind of roles.
Since you're talking about practical experience and some cross-functional experiences that you're asking our viewers to gain,
what are some of the skill sets that we are looking at that these people should look to gain through these experiences and initiatives?
Right. See, broadly, the kind of skills that are required or what you gain from this is one, ability to work across various levels. You are one day working with the CEO of a large conglomerate or large firm, or you're head of the function itself in defining the strategy, and at the same day, 2 hours later, you will be on the floor working with somebody to fix a tweak or a minor, issue that is there on the floor, right? Whether it's, and regardless of the sector. So what this gives you is an ability to work across and ability to switch between a team player, a leader, and a follower. I think this is something that this role definitely teaches you. The second thing which it helps with is a overall 360-degree view of the organization itself, because you're part of the office which is effectively running the show. You got to think like an entrepreneur, and in general people become entrepreneurs also, my journey for example. And they get a full view of the organization and the drivers around that. So those are the two major takeaways that you get in such roles.
So if I have to generalize it in terms of skills that need to be developed, can I say that you absolutely need to have good interpersonal skills and have a business oriented mindset? Would you say that that's right?
Yeah, these are two definite ones. I think the third would be an ability to connect the dots and connect with people, which you covered in interpersonal skills. I think the other bit in such roles is keeping your ego out of the window, right? Because these roles require a lot of influencing. You do not have a large team working for you, but you're still expected to get work done out of various departments: finance, marketing, sales, operations, etc. So the kind of relationships that you develop with people and the kind of influencing skills that you have are of utmost importance. As I said, you have to work across different levels. So you should know what clicks, what ticks with people. A lot of times in quote unquote, people say bhaichara is not good in corporate world, but in these cases and this kind of roles, some bhaichara is important.
And that fits in for any particular role. You never know who might,
Yeah.
Be there to help you out in some way or the other. So I think it doesn't cost us anything to be nice, but it might come in handy someday, is what I believe in. And I think that fits in perfectly with what you've just said.
Correct.
So let's say someone has gotten into a general management role. How does the career hierarchy look like? What is the promotion progression for these people that they can expect? And how long does it take to jump from one level to the other?
Right. One distinct advantage or a disadvantage, depending upon what way you see it, is the bosses, the top management is always seeing your work up close and personal. Your peers at the same experience level, might not even get access to that kind of leadership. So it serves as both good and bad in terms of the mistakes. Obviously, they are able to see it, as well as your performance. If it's great, if it's good, there is an acknowledgement upfront. So the career trajectory, depending upon how good you've performed, is slightly better than the rest of the cohort, because the management sees you and sees you perform in front of them, and you work on things which directly impact their daily lives, right? So it is important to know that fact, because ultimately there could be fast track promotions, and there are churns also in such cases. The other reality is, in these kind of roles, you're tied to the person who's heading the function in most cases. So if there is a churn at the leadership level, that impacts your career trajectory as well, which might not be the case with somebody else, right? In terms of the progression, these could be heading the CEO's office as a ultimate goal. These could be heading a particular department after a period of time. You head a division. These could be leading transformation initiatives. These could be heading internal strategy. And if it's an internal strategy kind of a role, you can gravitate towards the consulting world as well, or come from the consulting world to these kind of roles. And because these roles are focusing on cross-functional initiatives, multitasking, thinking from all sorts of angles that you can think of, entrepreneurship also becomes a good segue or a career path, and it helps the preparation of these roles helps in becoming a good entrepreneur also. Obviously, it is a different ball game altogether, but it does help.
Thank you for sharing that. I think our viewers will be happy to know that there is a wide arena of opportunities available once you've been in a general management role. So that's really good. What are some of the things that you would advise to someone who is just starting out into a general management role? What are some of the things that they should absolutely do and some of the things that they should certainly avoid?
I think a couple of things that they should definitely do is expand their knowledge about the organization and the sector. These kind of roles are, with transferable skill sets. One thing that you should have is ability to grasp quickly the value drivers in a sector or an organization. Because you're working with a lot of people who are much more senior to you in different departments as well, it is important to, to speak their language. Otherwise, you're not relevant to those conversations. They won't take you seriously because, just because you're coming from the CEO's office does not mean that they're obliged to do stuff. Yes, there is a stick approach which is there. However, there should always be a carrot approach, and they should appreciate what you bring to the table in terms of structuring things, in terms of strategy, etc. You might not be an SME in their field, but your value should be visible, and it will be only in cases where you are able to talk their language, right? That's one. Second is in terms of knowing people across the board. Networking, as they say in B school, is very important in this case, right? You should know what's happening in the organization. You should have a pulse on what's happening across the board in the industry and outside, because again you are a reflection of what the head of the department is, right? You are representing that office ultimately in such cases. What you should definitely avoid, these are no different from any other things. I think integrity is very, very important in this case, because you're privy to information which can impact careers, which is salary data, performance data, increments, business performance, etc. So integrity to have that information and not divulge is of utmost importance, and trust is, as I said, applicable to everything, more so in such cases.
Do you want to give it a go to ask our viewers to subscribe to my channel?
Sure. So I've been following what Madhuri has been doing in addition to her role. I think the content around skill development, academics, making a career is definitely great. So do subscribe to her channel for snippets, bite-sized short videos, which obviously will not take up a lot of time but give a lot of value around skill development, how to focus on your career, and grow as a business leader. So as she says, let's be pros together. So
Yeah. Thank you so much, Manan. It was lovely talking to you. All of the insights that you have shared, I'm sure our viewers have more information now to get and feel confident enough in general management roles. So thank you once again. Guys, I really do hope that you enjoyed this conversation between me and Manan. There are any further questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. Both Manan and I have a general management background, and both of us will be more than happy to answer any of your queries. You can follow Manan on LinkedIn, and he's, as I had mentioned in the introduction, he's also the founder of Strategy for GMAT, so you can check out his website as well. You can connect with me on Instagram and LinkedIn. I have mentioned all of the links in the description box. Thank you for watching.